always got some advice on how you can change, they're trying to control you. They're trying to control. Don't let them have control. Don't listen. If you can't love me like I'm is, I'm trying to help you. If you can't love me like I am, then you can't love me. Oh, y'all got quiet.
Amen.
I fold that up. I pull that back out. They pull out the relationship conference. They ready today. But he wanted to gain control. Somebody shout control.
Control.
Yeah, somebody shout control.
Control.
Yeah, Janet Jackson talked about it. Somebody shout control.
Control.
Yeah. He wanted to control some things. He wanted to control them. He wanted to change them. He wanted them to become what he needed for them to be. Do I have a witness here? Now understand this. Daniel, here was the problem. Daniel and these three boys had a relationship with God.
All right.
Yeah, they had a relationship with God.
Amen.
And when you have a relationship with God, it gives you a heightened sense of self.
All right.
Yeah. When you have a relationship with God, it boosts your spiritual self-esteem.
All right.
And when your spiritual self-esteem is at an all-time high, it don't even matter what your other self-esteem is, because once you come into the knowledge of who you are in God.
All right.
Oh my God. Let me say that one more time. I told y'all I wasn't going to do this today, but I got to do that one because I felt that. Once you come into the knowledge of who you are in God. Yeah. One more time, y'all. Like I said one more time, because it feel a little better every time I say it. Once you come into the knowledge of who you are in God. You see, we like to skip that last part, but that's the most important part, because watch this. It's not about who I am in your eyes. But the only thing that matters to me, y'all got me hollering all over. The only thing that matters to me is who I am in God. Yeah, you might not like how I walk. You might not like how I talk. You might not like how I cook. You might not even like how I look. All of that, the point's well taken, but they don't affect who I am. Yeah, don't affect who I am in God. Don't affect who I am in God.
All right, amen.
So King Nebuchadnezzar was trying to change them. He was trying to change them. He wanted them to become, because watch this, he had a plan for them. The plan was orchestrated out of the same favor that they had found, but the king wanted to do a little too much. Yeah, the king was the captain of Team Too Much. He tried to do a little too much. He tried to do a little bit too much. So what he did is he tried to give them a Babylonian education. You know, the Bible says that he began to school them in the ways and the customs of the Babylonians. Watch this. And by giving them a Babylonian education, he was trying to control their thinking. If I expect you to act like us, then I got to teach you how to think like us. Do I have a witness here?
All right.
You got to watch folk that try to make you think like them.
Come on, Pastor.
You got to watch folk that want you to hate somebody just because they hate them.
That's right. Yes, that's right, Pastor.
You got to watch people that try to change your thinking, try to make your thinking their own thinking. Amen. You don't like tomatoes? Yes, I do. You don't like tomatoes? Yeah, well, we ain't buying no tomatoes. Yes, we are. Because again, I like tomatoes. Amen.
Amen.
So they try to make their feelings your feelings. They try to make their thoughts your thoughts. You got to watch that. So he tried to change he gave them a Babylonian education. Yeah, he gave them a Babylonian education because he was trying to change their thinking. Then he tried to give them Babylonian names. Yeah. It worked with the three fellas because they became Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Those are bad Babylonian names. But Daniel's name remained the same. And by changing their names, he changed their loyalty.
All right.
Yeah. I change your thinking, then I'm going to change your loyalty. I take away, watch this, I take away your Jewish names, and I give you Babylonian names. And now, you are, every time you hear your name, you hear us. Yeah. I was talking to my son last night, and I really shared some things with him that I had never really talked to him about. We were talking, and I told him that the thing that really started to really weigh on me as I worked on the job that I was working doing collections, one of the biggest problems that I had was working under an alias. Yeah, I had a problem with that. And I did it for a long, long time. You know, I had a whole bunch of different aliases. I was Kelly Robinson. I was Raymond Blake. Yeah, I was Tom Mason. Phil Breeze. I was all kind of different people. But the biggest problem that I had is that when I got to the end, Evangelist Shorten, God was speaking to me, telling me that, you know, now it's time. I need you for the kingdom full time. Now it's time. You asked for it. The time is now. Do it now. But I had already gotten to the place where it made me sick to my stomach because every day for 8 hours, I had to give away the name that my father gave me and pick up a name that I had made up for myself.
Come on, Pastor.
Watch this. And in doing that for 8 hours a day, what I thought didn't matter. But I did everything I did to make somebody else rich.
All right.
And I was making really, really, really good money. But what they were getting off what I was making made them millionaires. What I was getting off of what I was making them was just enough to keep me quiet.